Hello everyone, my name is Apple Guy, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today is a very different kind of video, however, because this video is not particularly focused on a video game. This is my follow-up to my announcement video in which I said I had this big project that I couldn't tell you about until it was completely finished. Well, it's completely finished, and it's going to change the channel for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to my brand new $3,000 gaming PC. So I decided to build this PC for a couple of reasons. The first one off, and it's actually going to contain a little bit of a story, was my dad asked me what I would like for Christmas. And I told him, it'd be nice to have another desktop computer because if you may remember, I started out making YouTube videos on a Mac Pro, which is a tower computer. It had two displays hooked up to it, very cool. That actually stopped working. I had that computer for 7 years, from 2013 until 2020, and then in April of this year, it actually stopped working. You would plug it in, you turn it on, and it would not give any picture. It would turn itself off. Not what you want from a computer. This was actually in the middle of my Pokemon Platinum Let's Play. And in response to that, what we did was we actually hooked me up with a laptop. So I was on a MacBook laptop, and the laptop worked great until it didn't work so great. And you guys may recall throughout my Majora's Mask Let's Play, and then also, I believe it was a Rogue Company video, I had some issues with CPU usage going too high, and the video's lagging, and sometimes my editing program wouldn't work, and it was just not ideal. So I decided I need a new computer. What do I get, though? Do I get another Mac, or do I get a PC? And I talked to some of my friends who all had gaming PCs for years and years, and they said, with what you're trying to do, you're trying to make YouTube videos and you want to have good looking YouTube videos, it'd be best if you got a PC. So I was convinced, and this is when the journey began to make my gaming PC. Now there's going to be a couple of shoutouts in this video because a lot of people helped me with this build, so I'm just going to check them off as I go along chronologically. So the first person who I really want to give a big shout out to is TrevPup. TrevPup helped me assemble all the different variations of my PC parts list. There's actually 7 different builds that we ended up doing, or just versions of the build. So yeah, I want to give a big thanks to him. We started off with a $2,000 budget that I just put for myself. And then we were up to $2,500, and then after I handed the list over to my dad, it ended up being over $3,000 because if we're doing something, we have to do it correctly. So let's get into the actual PC itself. The first component we have is the CPU, which is an Intel i7-9700K. It's pretty standard PC CPU from what I can gather. It's very good, very reliable, good company. I've heard AMD is also a good option, but I'm making a big enough change switching to a Windows machine, so let's keep it at Intel. The cooler for the CPU is a Cooler Master Master Liquid ML360P, and that actually uses liquid cooling, so there is liquid inside of the tubes, and it applies cool liquid something or other straight to the CPU. I'm terrible at computer stuff, guys. And then it runs back out and cools down and runs in that closed loop cycle there to keep the computer cool. The motherboard that CPU and CPU cooler is hooked up to is an Asus Prime Z390. And that's just another standard motherboard. In all honesty, for the longest time, we were using a micro ATX motherboard, which is just a really small one. As far as I can gather, I actually don't know. So we upped that near the end when we got the extra wiggle room for the price. It's running on 32 gigabytes of DDR4 Corsair Vengeance RAM, and those are the two glowy things there. They're pretty cool, honestly. Probably my favorite light fixture on the entire computer. Then I have 2 different drives. I have a 1TB Samsung 970 EVO SSD, which I use to run all of my games and all of my main programs that I find to be super duper important, like my editing software, Elgato Game Cap, OBS, Photoshop, all that stuff runs off the SSD, as well as my games. I said that already though. And the other drive is an 8TB Seagate Barracuda HDD, and that's mainly used for storing my videos. I keep my videos around in case I need to, re-upload them at some time, or just to have a physical, well, not physical, obviously, but like a downloaded to a drive save data file thing, instead of just keeping it uploaded to YouTube where maybe they all get deleted for some reason or something. I don't know. I like to keep them in a safe, secure place. My favorite component that I have is my Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070, the Zotac version, which I bought despite being very difficult to come by. I was very pleased to be able to get that after about a week of searching. It's a great graphics card. I've been able to run so many games, and honestly, later this week we're going to see some gameplay and you're going to look at it and be like, wow, that is an impressive graphics capability. The case it sits in, the entire PC, is a Cooler Master Masterbox ATX case. I liked this one. It also came from the same company that did the CPU cooler, and there was a tutorial video I could find on how to install it, so I figured it was the best just so that I have assurance that what I have works together. The power supply is a Corsair CV 650 watt. If there was something to upgrade, that would probably be it, just for future proofing. If I ever did buy more components, 650 watts gives me a decent range to where I can upgrade freely, but there's definitely higher wattage that I could have bought. Obviously it runs on Windows 10, and I also bought something extra, which was a Wi-Fi adapter so that my computer can have Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet. That's just kind of a personal preference, of course. Moving on to some other aspects. Here we have my dual monitors. They are both 144Hz and 1440p. They are LG Ultra Gear. They have Nvidia G-Sync. They're really good. I was originally going for 1080 at 144 Hz, but I found out I was already running a 1440p 60 Hz. If you don't know what that is, that's resolution and refresh rate. As I said, this video is not a normal video for me. Honestly, I don't even understand half the stuff I'm talking about, but we're going to keep going. And then I have my keyboard here, and my keyboard was actually recommended to me by my good friend Aiden. He's on YouTube at EYEDIN. I'll put his link in the description, as well as TrevPups. Because he is a huge keyboard fanatic. All you'll see on his channel, as of right now, he might change it later, is keyboard typing tests. He spends a lot of money and a lot of time on keyboards, so I knew he had a very good recommendation for me. What I ended up with was the Fanatic Mini Streak. It was a keyboard that has switches called Cherry MX Silent Reds, so when you press the switch, it's very quiet, which is great because, as I said, I record videos, and I can't have my keyboard making a bunch of clicky-clacky noises. It still feels great. Keyboard has some cool lights on it and stuff, so it's definitely a very good buy, and an awesome recommendation from him. My mouse is the Logitech G203, which I bought a couple of months ago, maybe even a year at this point. It was when Fortnite was popular, so it was a while ago. And then, of course, I also have my microphone, but I've talked about this before. It is a Blue Yeti X hooked up to, I believe, an Alphonix, AUPHONIX microphone shock mount, and then the microphone boom arm I got off of Amazon for like $12. I couldn't even tell you what brand that was. This PC is shout out goes out to my dad, who both financed this and put the entire computer together. I was completely useless on the PC build, but it's great. And extra bonus, check out this wire management he did. He has them all wrapped up in these little mesh containers. I don't even know how to describe it. It's great. It is so good, and a big thank you to him, as well as everyone else who contributed to the PC build. There are some other people who just kind of took a peek at it and said, yeah, that's good. Especially people he sent the build to, so big thank you to all of them as well. That is about it for my brand new PC build though, guys. I'm so happy to be able to present this to you all. It took me about a month or so to go from the beginning stages of starting a spreadsheet to, getting to where we are now. And by the way, in case anyone's feeling like, what, he's just getting a first PC, it's $3,000? First off, I know, I'm very fortunate, but also this wasn't something I bought on a whim. I had a lot of people look over this list, and I spent a lot of time making sure everything would work together. And not to toot my own horn, but I did not have to run to any computer parts store during the process of building this. Everything that it needed to be built with. So there wasn't like, where's this cable? And then you're in the car, We didn't have any of that. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video because this video went a little too long for just being a PC setup video. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the content in this video. If you did enjoy, please hit like and subscribe and tell your friends about the video if you think they would enjoy it. It means a lot to me when you get my videos around. I'll catch you all back here next time for the next video here on the channel. Until then, as always, take care.